Ciao a tutti! Hello everyone! Welcome to Fly High, where you're gonna be flying high language learning with me, Francesca. And in this episode, we're gonna be looking at an exercise with the partitive articles, where you're all gonna be putting them into practice. We saw in the previous lesson, like an explanation, a grammar explanation, what these articles translate as in Italian. So in this lesson, I think it's useful to just put it all into practice and do an exercise together. So let's explore them together then. So we got here the recap table that I'm going to be going through very briefly so that we can jump straight on to the exercise. So we have del in the masculine, del when the noun is followed by a consonant, dello when the masculine noun starts with x, y, z, or ñ, ps, pn, and s plus a consonant. And we have del with the apostrophe when the masculine noun starts with a vowel. Then in the plural, all of this in the singular, we have della. Did I say in the plural? In the feminine. In the feminine, then we have della when the feminine noun starts with a consonant, and del with an apostrophe when the feminine noun starts with a vowel. Then in the plural, this time, we have dei for masculine plural noun that starts with a consonant, and degli for a masculine plural noun that starts with a vowel or with x, y, z, ñ, ps, pn, and s plus a consonant. And finally, for the feminine plural nouns, we have delle, and then for all of them pretty much with a vowel or consonant, doesn't matter, but the partitive article for the feminine plural nouns is delle. So let's have a look now. We do the exercise. So I'm going to be going word by word, and I'll give you about 5 seconds in between words. So you guys give me the correct partitive article. You'll have to guess which is the one that you have to use, and then I'm going to give you the solution straight after. Okay? So we have, first word of today is vino. Vino means wine. So how would you translate some wine? Okay, you can use the partitive article, and then you can also give me qualche or un po' di or alcuni, alcune that we saw in the other lesson. So if you want to also try and then in depth, if you feel up for it, okay? If not, just do the del, dello, della, degli, okay? Just do the simple partitive article. So, okay, 5 seconds start now. So it's del vino, okay? Del vino, some wine. You could also have said un po' di vino, but not qualche vino, because vino is an uncountable noun, and qualche we only use it with countable nouns, even if it's singular here, you see, because we said in the previous lesson qualche is used with countable nouns, but translates as a few, some, but it's got a singular form that needs to follow. So yes, vino could potentially trick you guys into thinking, we can say qualche, but no, because it's an uncountable noun. So we cannot put a number in front of vino, okay? We cannot say we can say tre vini when we refer to bottles, but wine as a liquid itself is more like an uncountable noun, more of an undefined quantity. So we can say del vino or un po' di vino. Second word for today is ragazzi. Ragazzi is guys, so boys. How would you say some guys? Dei ragazzi, yes, dei ragazzi. Or as well, we could have said alcuni ragazzi. Alcuni, yes, we could have used that indefinite. We could also have said qualche ragazzo, so with a singular form of the noun, okay? Then we have third word is studentesse. Studentesse is female students. So what's the correct definite the correct partitive article here? Delle. Delle is the correct article, and we could have said as well alcune studentesse or qualche studentessa. Then we have coraggio. Coraggio is courage. So how would you say some courage? Yes, del coraggio or un po' di coraggio as well, but we couldn't really say alcuni. Coraggio, no, because it's an uncountable noun, and besides it's also singular in this case, so alcuni can only be used with plural. And as well, we couldn't say qualche because coraggio is uncountable, and qualche is only used with countable plural nouns, but in the singular form. Okay? Then we have scontrini. Scontrini is receipts. So how would we say some receipts? Degli. Yes, degli scontrini, because you see scontrini starts with an S plus a consonant, is a masculine noun, and it's plural, so we need to use degli. We could have said as well alcuni scontrini, un po' di scontrini, and if we wanted to use qualche, yes, we could have used it because it's a countable noun, but we would have had to use the scontrini in its singular form, scontrino, with qualche, so qualche scontrino. Then we have yogurt. So yogurt in the Italian pronunciation, yogurt. How do we say some yogurt? Dello, yes, dello, or un po' di yogurt, okay? Yes, dello or un po' di yogurt. Then we have pere. Pere is pears. How would we say some pears? Delle. Yes, delle or alcune. Alcune as well could have been used because it's a countable noun, it's plural, so we could have said a few pears, alcune pere. And also qualche. Qualche would have been fine, as in qualche pera, okay, with the singular form of the noun, okay, so pera in this case. Then we have acqua. Acqua is water, so how would we say some water? Dell'acqua, yes, dell'acqua with the apostrophe, okay, or un po' d'acqua as well with the apostrophe as well in the D there. And we couldn't have said alcuni, alcune, definitely not, because acqua is singular, and as well it's uncountable, so alcuni or alcune cannot be used with uncountable nouns. And also we couldn't have said qualche for the same reason, okay? Then we have vizi. Vizi is bad habits. So how would we say some bad habits? Some vizi. Dei vizi. So plural, masculine noun, starts with a consonant, goes with dei, okay? Dei vizi. Or as well, alcuni vizi, okay? Or qualche vizio. We have Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is Coke. So how would we say some Coke? Della Coca-Cola. Feminine noun is singular and it's uncountable. So we can say della or as well un po' di Coca-Cola. Last 3 words for today. Esercizi, exercises. How would we say some exercises? Degli esercizi. Yes, degli esercizi. Okay? And as well, we could have said alcuni esercizi or qualche esercizio if we wanted to use qualche. So as we remember, it's followed by a singular, the singular form of the noun. Okay? Then we have oro. Oro means gold. So how would we say some gold? Dell'oro, because oro is an uncountable noun. It's singular as well. We could have said un po' d'oro, dell'oro, and definitely we couldn't have said alcuni or alcune, and we couldn't have used qualche either, because it's not countable. So just simple, dell'oro. And finally we have sere. Sere is evenings. So how would we say some evenings? How would we say that? Delle, yes, delle sere. Or we could have said alcune sere, plural countable noun, and alcune, because it's not alcuni, alcune, because sere is feminine. We could have also said qualche sera, using the noun in its singular form. So this concludes our lesson for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the exercise and that you found it useful. It helped you gain that practice and understanding how these partitive articles get used in context. As I understand, they can be tricky. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. Thanks again so much for watching. Stay tuned and I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao ciao!